Greetings fellow Mass Effect fans and welcome back. I'm LockheartQT, your ultimate source for all things Mass Effect and gaming. Today we're diving into the galaxy's most mysterious series, being Mass Effect, and discussing the 5 burning questions we're eager to have answered in the next Mass Effect, which I'm just dubbing as Mass Effect 4 for now. So grab your Omni-Tool and let's embark on this thrilling journey.
LockheartQT.
Number 1. Dark Energy. Our first mystery revolves around something that's been looming in the background since Mass Effect 1, being dark energy. Remember Tali's hint about the Quarian's fleet migration being caused by dark energy? It was a subplot that was never really fully fleshed out and explored, but what is the connection between dark energy and the fate of the galaxy, as it's been teased throughout the entire original trilogy of Mass Effect and even a little bit in Andromeda as well? Could the impending threat of dark energy tie into the next Mass Effect installment? Perhaps it's the catalyst for the next epic conflict, or revisiting my theory from sort of past videos that I've done on the subject, that the next game could be a sort of faction, like different factions fighting for control of the galaxy. So essentially, with a lot of the Alliance, obviously the Reapers being defeated in Mass Effect 3, you'll have perhaps organisations such as the Alliance, Cerberus and other factions fighting for planets, territory, galaxies, as well as perhaps dark energy, which could then tie into sort of FTL and actual, with rebuilding the relays and whatnot. But again, this all depends on which ending is actually chosen for the next Mass Effect. Either that, or if they let us choose all 3 endings for Mass Effect 3 to continue on with, that opens a whole new can of worms. Number 2, the Reapers. One of the most pressing questions we have is whether the Reapers will make a comeback in Mass Effect 4. We've seen them vanquished in Mass Effect 3, with the sort of main Reaper war coming to an end in that game with all 4 of the endings, but their mysterious origin, their purpose, and the cycle of extinction remains shrouded in secrecy. Although we did get some of these questions answered via the catalyst in Mass Effect 3, are the Reapers truly gone, or could they return in some other form? Could they be reborn with a new purpose, or until we finally uncover the truth about their creators? And could this even play into the remnants from Mass Effect Andromeda, because we do know, which I'll go on to later, that Mass Effect Andromeda will play some kind of a role in the next game. We already have the fact that the Reapers are at least making some sort of a cameo, as they are seen in the reveal trailer, and this was even confirmed by project director Michael Gamble, that they basically placed their, the Reaper corpses intentionally. We see Reaper debris in space, as well as we hear that iconic Reaper sound effect. Number 3, the fate of Commander Shepard. Of course, we can't forget about Commander Shepard, the main protagonist who you play as in Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3. Mass Effect 3 left us with different outcomes for our beloved protagonist and hero. Depending on your choices, will Shepard return in some capacity, perhaps as a mentor, as I've discussed in previous videos, a holographic guide or a VI, which would be pretty funny, or even as a hidden ally? And what role will Shepard's legacy play into the next Mass Effect narrative? Will we finally see a reunion with the old squad mates? Imagine having a reunion with, say, Tali, and you get that, maybe they go back to Ranark, or you have a reunion with Liara, and maybe they discuss things like the Catalyst and Prothean research and where she's at with that. Maybe he or she reunites with Garrus, for example, and they talk about calibrations. Who knows? But the fate of Commander Shepard is one of those things where we really don't know. Both voice actors for Commander Shepard have been very tight-lipped, as they should be, because if they are in the next game, I imagine they're drowning in NDAs. They just probably have signed stuff saying that they cannot talk about it until they're told to. And we've had loads of hints for Shepard coming back, and we've got loads of sort of wild fan speculation and theories, wild things that we can come up with, which I have discussed on the channel, but at the end of the day, we straight up don't know. Mass Effect 3 has 4 different endings, and I think it's in 2 of them Shepard technically dies. So again, well, technically it's all 4, but in terms of what I'm going to talk about now being the perfect destroy ending, by the way, spoilers for Mass Effect 3's ending, I mean, you wouldn't be here if you hadn't seen it, but in terms of the perfect destroy ending, obviously we get that end credit scene where Shepard essentially draws breath again, so that could hint that Shepard is returning. And since we sort of have this feeling that the series is returning back to a lot of its classic elements and sort of ditching a load of stuff that was brought in Andromeda, I feel like Commander Shepard could return. Speaking of which, number 4, the Andromeda connection. Mass Effect Andromeda introduced us to a whole new galaxy and a fresh start for mysteries of the galaxy, essentially. But are the mysteries of the Andromeda Initiative connected to the events of Mass Effect 4 or Mass Effect 5 or whatever the next title will be called? And could we see a crossover between the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies? This has actually been teased both in the teaser trailer as well as by Michael Gamble on Twitter. He's basically stating and hinting at the fact that we could have 2 playable galaxies, which would be really interesting. The only thing that I can see sort of stopping this would be the fact that it took the Initiative 600 years plus to actually get to Andromeda at light speed. So, but again, we'll have to see how Andromeda actually plays into the next title. For me, hopefully, I think it should return. I think Andromeda should return in some capacity. Obviously, the timeline is then going to get very messy in terms of lore, and I do believe BioWare will be able to write around it. However, in terms of Andromeda, there was a lot of good that came out of it, and I know a lot of people obviously clown on the game and hate the game, and obviously it has a lot of bad elements, but in terms of story and characters, there are some good things to be brought back, so who knows, we could see some crossovers in the future. Number 5, the main playable protagonist. Now, I sort of touched on this with Commander Shepard, but who will be our new protagonist? Will we continue the story of Commander Shepard or embark on a fresh new adventure with a new hero? Will this character be an alien, a human, a spectre, a cowboy, or even an outlaw? Again, we've got no idea. The protagonist will shape our personal experience, and we can't wait to learn more about their background, motivations, and the challenges they'll face as a, Mass Effect community. But for me, it's going to be very interesting because if we have a new protagonist, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to that. Obviously, people reacted quite badly to Sarah and Scott Ryder, and obviously Commander Shepard is the GOAT, so I feel like EA and BioWare, because of the current situation they're in, will want to bring back Commander Shepard. But me personally, although I'd love to have Shepard back for nostalgia and rose-tinted goggles, I would actually like to see a new, well-written protagonist. Now, obviously, with a game like Mass Effect, they're going to have to essentially write a blank slate sort of character, maybe give us a few motivations and a different background. And I've even touched on the fact that we could have playable aliens, for example, Asari or Quarians. We could be playing as different races, and again, I think that would be really interesting because you would have certain things, it would change the dynamics with other characters. For example, if you're a Krogan, how does a Solarian approach you and talk with you and things like that? And play with these different elements with different races and aliens and whatnot. Maybe you get different mission outcomes based on the fact that for example, maybe you've got like a base that's guarded by Krogan, and if you're Krogan, maybe they just let you in, whereas maybe if you're playing as a Solarian, perhaps they won't let you in and you need to find another avenue to get in. But in terms of everything, I think the main protagonist is going to shape the entire game from start to finish, and they need to be well written and just good in general. Well, there you have it. The 5 biggest mysteries we're eagerly waiting to have answered in the next Mass Effect game, whether it be Mass Effect 4, 5, or a new subtitle. Dark Energy, the Return of the Reapers, the fate of Commander Shepard, the Andromeda connection, and the new protagonist. These questions are sure to fuel anticipation and speculation for sort of months to come, but it wouldn't be Mass Effect without a little suspense and intrigue, would it? Until we get more details, keep yourself ready until we probably get a big update on N7 Day, being November 7th, as that will be when we get probably the next big update on the game. I imagine we'll get some new concept art, hopefully we'll get a trailer, maybe a title reveal. Again, I've got no idea. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video to stay updated on all things Mass Effect. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.